Christmas, everybody. December 15th, 2015. This is Nick Gerard from iCreditZoom.com. Hey, I wanted to talk to you guys today about credit collections and third-party creditors, knowing your rights and understanding how it all works. So I hear a lot of people talk to me and say, hey, if I pay off this credit collection company, is it going to help my credit score? Is it going to make me look better? And here's the bottom line. It will not help your credit score to go up at all. Well, I shouldn't say it won't help. It's not going to help very much. Here's the reason why. Your credit score, or your FICO score, is calculated by a sum of many different factors. Part of that being your open and extended credit compared to the amount of credit available to you, the amount of open accounts you have versus the amount of negative items, 30-day late, 60-day late, charge-offs, things of that nature. It's a big algorithm, and they calculate that to come up with your FICO score. So when you pay off your collection or your charge-off accounts, they stay and remain on your credit report. Big misconception. A lot of people think that if they pay off the credit collection company, that it goes away, and it's absolutely not true. So it brings into a lot of questions about whether I should pay my third-party collections or I shouldn't. And to get into that, it really has to do with what your personal goals are and what you're trying to accomplish. I've always been a fan of doing what you say you're going to do, paying your debts and making sure that you are honoring your word. However, sometimes in doing so, the timing of what you're trying to do, whether it's buy a house, if you're really looking at fixing up your credit, that money that you owe that third-party creditor could probably be going to something that's a little bit better useful for your particular goal in mind. Maybe it's saving it for your down payment or whatever. And here's how we work with the third-party credit collection companies, or here's a scenario. Let's say, for an example, you owe Capital One credit card money and you become late. Well, after 180 days of delinquency, Capital One is going to close that account as not collectible, or you might hear it referred to as a charge-off. When they charge off that account, they are taking whatever balance is unpaid plus any interest and any fees that are associated with that account, and they're closing that account. And this is how the game really works. I've always told you guys that if you want to be a player in the game, or do you want to be a pawn in the game, it's all about understanding the game itself, understanding that the game is rigged and that the game is not fair, and it will never be fair. However, you don't have to be a victim of the game. You can learn to play, you can learn the rules, you can learn to play to win and become a player on the board rather than a pawn on the board. So here's how that all begins. First and foremost, understand that when Capital One or any other collector or creditor out there charges an account off, 9 times out of 10, they are not losing one dime. You heard me right. They are not losing any money off of that account. And here's why. The majority of credit card companies carry a special type of insurance that covers them for the instances of loss and failure to pay. Very much like your mortgage insurance that you have that covers your bank should you default on your mortgage. Okay, so understand that when you have a $1,000 credit card with Capital One, and let's say you have a balance of $500 and you didn't pay it, and they charge off your $500 balance, Capital One doesn't actually lose $500. They collect the insurance off of that account that they were covered under. Okay, so they now have been made whole. They collect that insurance. Here's how it gets really fun and really tricky. Capital One then takes that account. Sorry about the sun there, guys. I'm trying to find a good spot here. It's Christmas time and everybody's out and about, so Capital One will take that account now and they will charge it off, or they will write it off as a loss against their corporate taxes. So that means that the IRS is now going to give them a deduction on their tax return for the amount that they are claiming as a loss. Okay? So they collect the insurance premium or the insurance benefit for the loss. They now get a tax return or a tax deduction for the loss. And then here's how the third way that they make money on that account is they sell that account to a third-party collection company. So depending on the age of the account, how long the account has been delinquent, will determine how much they can actually get for it. But for this instance, let's say that it's a new account, they're probably going to get around 50%. So you owe $500, they're going to sell that account for $250. So a third-party collection company, we'll call them ABC Collector, comes along and says, hey, Capital One, we want to buy all your bad debt. We believe that we can collect it better than you can, so we're going to go ahead and buy it for 50 cents on the dollar. So they buy that new debt for $250. Now, they contact you, send you a letter saying you now owe them money, and any dollar amount that they collect above and beyond the $250 is pure and utter profit to them. So, I bring all this up because a lot of times people attribute a lot of morality to the game of money and finance. And, you know, rightfully so. I understand the ethics and the morals behind wanting to do what's right. But when you understand that the game is rigged from the get-go and you are set up to be a loser in that game, you have to understand that the people who are wealthy, the top 1% in America, the reason that they continue to survive and succeed and grow in any economic situation is because they understand that money is not real. Okay, it's just a concept. Money is not real. It doesn't exist. So they attribute no morality to money or its concept because it deserves neither, because it is not real. So the difference between the 1% and the other 99 is that the 1% understand that there is no morality to the wheelings and dealings of the financial world, unlike the rest of us 99% who attribute our character and our morality to that particular account. So having said that, how does that benefit you? It benefits you in a myriad of different ways. One, you can now make the decision that is best for you and your particular goals and situations, removing morality out of the situation. I can help you get those third-party collections off of your credit report. They don't belong on your report. You have no business doing having any type of connection to that company. You did not sign a contract with that company. They don't have any legal standing against you whatsoever unless they filed a judgment and have the right to do so. 9 out of 10 times, that's not the case. So understand that you actually have a remedy. You have a course of action that you can take to get these third-party collection companies to stop contacting you, to stop harassing you, to get their information removed from your credit report. And back to the question of, is it best if I pay them off or not pay them off? Again, it really goes back to what you're trying to accomplish. If you want to settle your debts and pay off your debts, then absolutely, by all means, go ahead and do that. But understand that the $700 or whatever, the $500 that you originally owed no longer exists, because the company that you think you harmed actually profited and benefited in a major way from that account. So use that to your advantage. Use it to your leverage. Negotiate. Be a shrewd business person in dealings with these third-party collection companies. If you guys want a little bit more information about how to do that, contact me at nick@icreditzoom.com or visit my website, icreditzoom.com. Until then, you guys have a Merry Christmas, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day.